To commemorate the reopening of the channel, I have an initial review of a really odd duck, the BRN-9. Apologies for just a static image to start off with. I tried to record a video showing off this gun, but there just wasn't enough light present, so the camera had difficulty focusing and the footage looked really weird, so here's a static image. I'll try to make this as fast as possible. The BRN-9 is made by Matador Arms 4 Brownells and is a blowback 9mm upper with a 5-inch barrel. It's compatible with multiple different lowers. I have it on a registered SBR lower, my KE Arms KE9, which accepts Glock mags. The controls are AR standard except for a reversible, non-reciprocating charging handle. The charging handle kind of flops around under recoil, but it's not linked to the bolt in any way. Because the weapon is so short, I like to wrap my fingers around the vertical foregrip and rest my thumb on the charging handle. Now, Brownells has a much better video than mine that covers all the controls and features, so I'm going to skip right past that, other than noting that neither the BRN-9 upper nor the KE9 lower have a last round bolt hold open. At the time of this video, I have approximately 300 rounds through the gun. Initial quality is all positive. There's no unexpected wear or gouging anywhere in the upper or the lower. The gun reliably feeds everything, even hollow points. The feed cone on the barrel is huge, and the gun had no problems digesting Federal HST 147 grain hollow points. That's a real flying ashtray of a round. The only ammo I've actually had problems with is 2020 manufactured Turkish 9mm. Frankly, I think COVID ammo is just a thing. This ammo has also given me problems on my Glock, so I'm more than happy to just blame the ammo. With other ammo types, reliability has been 100%, which is expected, given the blowback system. Accuracy is kind of difficult to assess right now because it varies wildly with ammo, but expect fist-sized groups at 25 yards with, FMJ range ammo. Upgrading to the HSTs, high-quality ammo got me a very nice group of around 1 inch to 25 yards. I gotta put in a 9mm ammo order in anyway, so I'll keep you updated on what ammo it likes. I think I can do better than what you see on the left. Now, shootability of the BRN-9 is a mixed bag. Internet people claim that blowback is horrible and less effective than a handgun. No, that is not what I've found, especially if there's multiple targets or the range of the targets increases, beyond Instagram range. Yes, having a stock makes a huge difference and you will shoot it better than a handgun. However, the BRN-9 does have some recoil to it, more so than normal AR-15 or even a stock, AR-9 blowback, and the system cannot be tuned. The best solution is just to go back to fundamentals. Have a solid stock position where the stock is entirely in your shoulder pocket instead of on the left, like where you see just the toe. I see this on the range all the time. Yank on the vertical grip to pull the BR9 positively into your shoulder. This greatly aids shootability. Other than that, shootability is great. The lower has an excellent trigger, which means I get some really fast splits. So after function check and zeroing, I took this gun to the Rio Salado multi-gun match in August 2023. As a spin-up for the Arizona State PCC match, this month had a PCC-only division, which I signed up for.
After you're finished, unload it, go clear. Whoop, clear. Hammer down.
2651.
Flag it. Failed to engage.
Talking about the one hard right.
Yeah. Yep.
So I failed to engage one target and got the FTN penalty. I arrived after everyone else, but I was on time. However, I was denied the long walkthrough session that everyone else got. Under match point scoring, a penalty in such a short stage absolutely destroys your score. Everyone's score is just kind of a function of the fastest shooter. So that's the whole match right there. I just didn't have the same time to prepare for the memorization that everyone else had. I was pretty upset about this, and it was not equitable, but, what can you do? I pressed on.
Stand by.
So for this stage, we started in the helicopter, muzzle on an X mark. The shooter from the helicopter had to neutralize these two little steel target racks before moving on. Because neither the BRN-9 nor the KE-9 lower have the last round bolt hold open, I do a proactive reload on the way out. After making the mistake last stage of failing to engage a target, I'm a little more deliberate with some scan and assess after each target zone. Also, again, note the speed of some of these double taps, especially the ones up close. With a good trigger, it's certainly possible, even with a blowback. Another proactive reload, then up to the final shooting position. This is kind of a longer range area. Targets are about, 30, 40 yards, all the way up to 175. I prop myself up and stabilize the carbine on these on this barrel.
Is that a hit?
And I go 1 for 1 in all these targets. Amusingly, I outran the RO to the barrels, and he wasn't there to properly announce that my first shot was a hit.
You're finished. Unload and show clear.
So this stage went much better. For the close range targets, I of course opted to shoot fast, and again, good fundamentals and a clean trigger make this possible, even with a blowback. For the long range, Starlog Pro was really helpful in determining the proper holes for a 175-yard target. Overall, I think the stage was a very impressive display of the BRN-9's potential. So this is a more conventional 3-gun style stage where it's all about speed and having a good plan. I can certainly shoot fast, but I'm still not great at stage planning. So you'll see me, as the GoPro tracks my head, I'll look left and right a couple times, because I'm not quite planning, but sort of hunting for targets. It's never ideal, but at least I shoot fast. Execute a pre-planned reload here, and in a few moments you'll see that I blow by some targets and have to go backwards. Going backwards is never the most efficient way to do things.
I gotta go backwards.
Not much else to say here. Good speed, good marksmanship, just bad execution of the plan. It's hard in the heat of the moment when you're competing, and yeah, sleep deprivation is a heck of a drug, so that'll get you. Note that while the BRN-9 does not have last round bolt hold open, like you see here, you can pull back the charging handle and lock it manually, just like with any other AR.
Stand by.
Here the shooter starts with that standing plate rack at 50 yards, and I'm able to make the hits pretty easily, but then I kind of just overspeed myself and just, yeah, I should have slowed down and made my hits. I know it's essentially boomer advice, but it works sometimes. The shooter moves to the next box and does the exact same thing, and this one goes a bit better. Up here you'll see me go to the left position and engage as many targets as I can from one standing position, including that longer range stuff. I don't know why other shooters felt inclined to get close to that. We just demonstrated we can make 50-yard hits, so I think that won me back some time. In competition shooting, it is usually faster just to go to one position and shoot as much stuff as you can versus trying to engage on the move. At this point I'm amped up and I get a little overzealous on the second target.
It finished. Unload and show clear.
As it happens, this was my best stage of the match. I think if I had, calmed myself and actually committed to making some of those hits and committed to some marksmanship, I could have done even better. Overall, pretty pleased with this one. So there you have it. The first match with the BRN-9 upper and KE-9 lower combination was completed with 100% reliability, demonstrated accuracy, and no undue wear and tear on the firearm. In terms of match performance, yeah, I'm pretty rusty. This was my first match in 3 months, and I'd just come off of working overtime and moving to a new house. Hopefully, as my life stabilizes, I'll be able to get more rounds through a gun and eventually make a full video review with my final conclusions. Also, I'll defer discussion of, whether the BRN-9 is the best suited PDW for that final review video. There's multiple options on the market. Get informed. Brass Facts is a wonderful video, or even set of videos on the PDW concept. So to conclude this video, I want to make a quick point. So much media content we see nowadays is intentionally just vitriolic or contrarian. That's, just to be scandalous and just generate buzz, right? I'm not playing that game. I'm going to be precise, boring, and nuanced because I want to get my exact point across, with my biases and limitations fully disclosed, so you can make an informed decision. This means I'm going to avoid making any conclusions on anticipated or speculated performance. I just don't have enough time with this gun to do that. We all know the last thing that the industry needs right now is more, firearm reviews with about 20 rounds through the gun, or 200, whatever. Even 1,000 is barely enough to make an opinion. Speaking of full disclosure, I have no financial relationship with Brownells or KE Arms or any of the manufacturers of any product you saw in this video. Now, initial impressions of the BRN-9 are positive. I know I rolled a lot of competition footage because that's just exciting to watch, but this is not a gun I would consider for serious competitive use. Ultimately, a SIG MPX or a roller-delayed PCC is what you want. However, I use competition to shake out my own gear and skills, so here we are. The BRN-9 feature set, I believe, has potential to be a contender for bag-concealable PDW. In this initial review, the only feature I found deficient is that there is really no great way to mount a sling. For the match, I didn't use one, but if the sling QD mount is at 9 o'clock, it can make using the charging handle more difficult. This is a minor problem and entirely due to the short overall length of the upper, which is a feature, not a bug. I plan to get around this by using an offset Picatinny QD mount to attach the sling at 12 o'clock. All other features of the firearm, to include blowback operation and the lack of last round bolt hold open, they're not deficient to the point where shootability is compromised, though obviously a delayed blowback system would be more controllable under recoil. Of note, I believe the recoil control of this gun could be improved with a cheek riser. The BRN-9 upper is about half an inch taller than a conventional AR-15 upper to accommodate the extra bolt mass, so all shooting was done with a chin weld. Throwing a cheek riser or other taller stock on there will reduce the perception of recoil, as the shooter's head is flailing less under the recoil impulse. That being said, my personal preference is moving away from low mounts to higher mounts anyway for night vision compatibility. The Aimpoint H1 I tested is on a lower 1/3 height mount, but when you add that half inch from the upper receiver, it puts the optic at around 2.2 inches. I tested this with my night vision and it works great and is totally intuitive. Even in daytime use, I find taller mounts to be more comfortable and natural to aim with, though I totally concede recoil control is compromised. I would recommend a low mount for people who don't have night vision or don't have experience with taller mounts. Don't just follow trends, investigate it for yourself and see if it works for you. Reliability and durability of both the BRN-9 and the KE-9 was flawless, with the exception of the garbage Turkish COVID ammo I discussed earlier. There is no premature wear or other concerning damage to the firearm. Of note, the KE-9 lower, this is not the first gun it's been used on, and she's had quite a few rounds through it, and she's fine. So, in summary, the product appears to work as advertised, and time will tell if it becomes something I would recommend. Again, in the age we live in, where the boldest opinion rises to the top, people just say LPVOs suck with no context, with no regard for nuance or objectivity. My opinion is not particularly zesty, but it's what I have so far. Again, it appears to work as advertised, and time will tell if it becomes something I recommend. Because this thing passed my initial review, I feel much more comfortable spending money on upgrades for it. Currently planned upgrades I have for this thing are a folding stock, a Streamlight TLR VIR2, which buys me white light, infrared light, and a laser. Also looking at a suppressor and a new sling attachment method like I discussed. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep shooting it and keep developing my opinion. Thanks, guys. That's it for now. Like and subscribe, or don't. I don't care.